I'm live. Hello. I'm alive. How are you? I'm just trying some things here. Yes, I can zoom in. I have got a lot of light coming in from the window here. So I'm just going to draw my blind down a bit. That's a late sun. Hi, how are you doing? There are 5 people watching. How are you doing? I am, this is my live Kickstarter launch, and I am just going to go over to another window. You can't see that, but I can. And there's a great big green button which says, prepare to launch your Kickstarter. And so I'm going to press that right now. Ready to launch. First, review the details below one last time. Your launch date and time set, blah, blah, blah. Funding is all or nothing, blah, 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 blah. If you reach your funding goal, blah, 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 you must complete your project, and I shall. I've read these details. Launch now. Kapow! Congratulations, your project is live. Hi there, everybody. So I now have my project is live. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Bitly account, which you can't see. You can't see. This is very boring, really, isn't it? I'll answer your questions in a minute. If you've got questions, put them in the put them in the thing. So I'm going to go to Bitly, and I'm going to get a short code because the long one is far too long. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to create. And so my Kickstarter is called 100 Dogs, so I'm going to call it that, 100 Dogs, and I'm going to save that. So that's brilliant. I now have a link which looks like this. No, that's not right at all. That's not right. So we save that. There we go. Good. Now I can copy it. So now that should go. I'm going to. No, it still hasn't got it. Still doesn't want to do that. Why doesn't this want to work? So, right. So if I go copy there, and then here. It doesn't want to do this. Sorry, I will be with you in a moment. So that says copy. And why won't it go and do that properly? And it's copying something completely different because that's not what I wanted. So I wanted to edit it. I wanted to call it something completely different. Hang on, 100 dogs. So I'm going to save that. This custom bit is taken. There we are. What am I going to call it? It should be called 100 Dogs. I'll call it Dogs 100. How about that? Dogs 100. Is this interesting or exciting? It probably isn't really. Right. Good. So that has now been edited. So in theory, I'm going to give you a link now. And I'm going to go, no, it's still not doing it. What is the problem here? Copy. There we go. Yeah, so that should be doing it now. Yes, so I'm going to give you a link now. There we are. So there is my Kickstarter that has just gone live. So how are we? Percy 33. So we got Mimi Draws, hi, and Deor's Mima, hi. Via Singh, bravo for submit, hi. Percy Simply, hello. I love participating. I love last Kickstarter, fantastic. Such an honor to have your artwork and book at home. Fantastic, thank you. And Trails TM, Ray. So I presume that means hi. Yeah, hi. So there we go. Let me tell you something about what I've been up to. I have got a book coming out on the 14th of March. Which is, it only actually went to the printers yesterday, so I haven't got a copy. And somewhere I made a dummy copy. Anyway, it's called Walker, the boy who can talk to dogs. And I thought, oh, I'll make a poster for it because I like to make posters for books. And what happened? Is the sound loud enough? I can see that. Oh no, the sound went off. Is the sound loud enough? I've just noticed a little thing down here that it can probably go up a bit louder. If I do that, no. I need to go to my settings somewhere. I think. Let me think. Is the sound loud enough? Sound is good. Good. Thank you, Jessica. So what happened? Yes. So when I have a new book, I really like to make a poster, and I imagined the hero of my story, Walker, surrounded by hundreds of dogs. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have to go to Google and find hundreds of dogs to draw on there. And then it just came to me, ding, in a flash. Why don't I get real dogs and do a Kickstarter with a book with 100 pages in it, with 100 dogs inside it, and get 100 people to put their dogs inside it. And so I kind of come up with this idea. It probably sound a bit expensive, but there's a lot of work going into it. So, so I suppose this is my most ambitious project up until now. So, so that's basically what it is. And so it's going to look something like this. And each book of the special limited edition only will have this little dog collar on the front. So I did this one here, and it's got Duke on the front. So these will be personalized little kind of discs for the name of the dog on the inside. So it's like a little dog collar on the book. And then inside, then the owners will have their names on. And then the dogs will have their own pages and 160 characters to tell me something about the dog and to tell the world something about the dog and their characters and their, you know, funniness about it. So you really got to think about that 160 characters. But I don't want too much text, and I don't want to need to spend a lot of time editing text. And then I will draw the dogs. People will send me their people send me pictures and things of their dogs, and then I will draw the dogs and put the book together, and it should be great fun. So so that's basically what it's all about. So Jessica, here we are. Sounds fine. Hello everybody. Yes, here we are. We've got Jessica Solorado, a 4-man artist who I've just been tweeting with. There's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Facebook, and after a while you can't remember who you've been talking to on which particular channel. So and here we are on YouTube as well. So this is my Kickstarter. You can see there's a link there which should work. Let me see, changes cancel. So I don't want to do that from here. If I do that, I'll check that from here. And yeah, so that link is working. So you can go and have a look and see what it's all about. And there you go. Any questions? Susan Rustenberg. Hello. Hello, Mr. Rayner. Found out about you a short while ago. I'm a big fan already. I love drafting with you. Fantastic. Did you mean drafting or drawing anyway? It's it's autocorrect, isn't it? They're always autocorrect is always changing the meanings of what I want to say online. So what do we got? That's held for review. What do we got? Please subscribe, PewDiePie. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, so we're going to hide that, I'm afraid. Gaming, your art impressed my art teacher, gaming Jude's gaming Jude's YT. Sometimes you have to kind of think about people's names on here, don't you? And is there a slight delay on audio? I'm afraid that's just the way it's going to be, I'm afraid. Hi Tilly, how are you? And so where are we now? There's a little thing against there. Why have we got? Yeah, oh, I see. So gaming dudes, Whitey, your art impressed my art teacher. Thank you very much. You've obviously got a very discerning art teacher. Veer Singh says, I draw like the guy who draws in Roald Dahl books. That's, oh goodness, his name's got straight out of my head. Quentin Blake. Yeah, you might say that. I would say I don't. But I can see why you would say that. I think certainly I have got a looser style, a bit like that, and I think he. I know what you mean, but I would say not. So, yes, Quentin Blake is pretty good. Not literally, no, via sync. No, I know. In fact, I've done a video about how to draw like him. And in showing how to draw like him, I kind of realized, by trying to copy him, I realized how similar and how different I am to him. So, Joe Meyer, is it too late to send a picture of my dog? I have only just launched Kickstarter, but I'm afraid you're going to have to buy a slot on there or get somebody to buy one for you. So I'm not drawing dogs for free, I'm afraid. So that's how Kickstarter works. It's a crowdfunding thing to create this book, because it's going to be a huge amount of work to do it. So there we are. And it's only just started, so in fact it's going to be about 25 days. Okay, Joe Meyer, if you look up above, you will see I've got a link there. It says http://bit.ly dogs100, and if you click on that, then that will take you to my Kickstarter page, and it's all explained on there. Okay, what have we got? Mimi draws. What's my favorite color? Well, I think once upon a time I would have said red. I can zoom in. I've got this automatic thing on my camera. Once upon a time, I think I would have said red. And but I think I have changed. And you might have noticed, in fact, when you look at all the kind of branding and everything around my YouTube channel, in the old days, it was all red. And then suddenly one day I kind of got fed up with that, really, and I've gone for that kind of greeny blue kind of color, which I think is probably my favorite color now. I think Susan Rustenberg says, you said in a video that everybody can learn to draw, but don't you need a bit of talent? No, I think everybody can draw. I think if you want to be an artist, I think then that's something different. I think the actual ability to draw is about learning techniques, understanding shapes and things like that, and spending the time practicing. And it's just like you can learn to do maths, you can learn to dance, you can learn to drive a car. It's not, none of those things are easy when you start. Drawing is exactly the same, and you need somebody to show you a few simple things, and then you can get going beyond drawing into art, and sort of being a professional artist or something like that. Then you need something else, and I think we generally call that talent, I suppose. Quite often talent is I think when you see people who draw and you think, wow, they're really talented, quite a lot of that talent in fact is just they've spent the time doing it, and they've put that energy into learning to draw. And quite a lot of people get to be really quite proficient drawers, but they just can't move on to that next stage, which is then about ideas and developing your own kind of style. And that's the next stage, and that requires a lot of kind of introspection and thinking and learning, and an awful lot of practice and a lot of trial and error to get there. And it means looking at other people's work, copying bits you like, and trying to think, oh, that's good, I like that. And I imagine Quentin Blake, we were talking about before, I'm sure he has been a massive influence on me. I would, quite happily admit that. And I'm sure there are bits of his work and his style that I have incorporated into my thing unknowingly, and not so I've not gone and said I'm going to copy that style, but it's just kind of infused. And I think that's how you eventually develop that your own style, by kind of trying out and learning from other people. Does that make sense? So where are we now? What was it? I can't find that. Talent, there we go. So Piercing, I can't believe Mr. Shoo Rayner replied to my comment. That's okay, don't worry about it. Bravo 478. I have pledged. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. How are we actually doing on that? Thank you very much. You've got it started. Excellent. Thank you. Keep making me laugh from Lola Alba. I'm sat here on my own with you and I'm laughing. And sometimes I get comments about my laughter and some people hate it. Some people hate me laughing and they say, why do you laugh all the time? And I don't know. It's just I find things funny and I don't know. I suppose I got this little conversation going on in my head and I'm having a conversation with you, which is, it's really, I'm talking to a screen, but I'm not. I'm talking to, we got 21 people on here live at the moment. So so I'm imagining I'm talking to you guys out there. And things just make me laugh. I can't help it. But some people get really, really upset on my videos and they go, I'm going to stop laughing on your videos. And so I, if they get really quite offensive, then I just cut them off and don't allow them to comment on my videos anymore. Or sometimes I just tell them that, you know, what's the matter? Did you get out of bed the wrong side this morning or something? So there we are. Piercing, your guide to using wooden sculptures really helped. Excellent. Good. That's what it's there for. Joel Allen, hi, how are you? Susan asked about the last question. Are you going to launch a book about cats as well? Well, I kind of have a plan about that. Are you aware of, let me find, are you aware of my characters? Penny and Benny. There's Penny. And so she's a cat. And then she lives with Benny, who is a dog. Cat and dog together. Anyway, Penny, you can join. you can go over to Instagram. Okay, look, I'm going to type it on here. It's going to be instagram.com/Penny and Benny. So that should work. And go and follow Penny and Benny on Instagram. And there's pennyandbenny.com as well. Hang on, let's go. pennyandbenny.com. Here we go. And so at the moment, Penny and Benny. Penny she's a kind of fashion blogger. She's a cat fashion blogger. And Benny he does something with computers. It's possible he kind of does something in cybersecurity. It's possible he might be a spy. I haven't quite decided yet. So, and they're quite happily living together, doing this blog about fashion, and they don't know that there's a book coming up about them in a few months' time. And when that comes out, yes, I'm going to be doing a cat video thing, but I'm going to have your cats done up in fashion. It's going to be a cat fashion blog book. And some people might think that's crazy, but that's the way you go. So where are we now? So Susan, yes, there we are. So Percy33, your laugh is part of why I enjoy watching your videos. Well, thank you very, very much. I think it's a funny old thing with YouTube is you can try to be someone else, but you can't keep it up for very long. And I think in the end, you just have to be yourself on YouTube because unless you're a really good actor, I suppose, in which case, you turn the camera on and become someone else. But I think in YouTube, you really have to kind of be yourself. And if I just keep laughing all the time, then I'm afraid that's how it is. And some people like it, some people don't. The people who like it, they can follow me, and the people who don't like it, they probably won't come back. But they still get angry, and they still have to comment. Stop laughing. Trails, my strong points are environmental, urban concept art, but people, humans, animals, etc. hard for me to draw, especially paint. Too right. I was certainly like that, and I think I think when I first started out, I think I did sort of animals because I didn't then have to do humans. I think that was the real reason. And then my animals became more and more human, and they sort of got they would be standing up on their back legs and wearing, no, they didn't wear clothes to start off with, but I've started putting clothes on animals. But I think there came a point where I had to start drawing humans because I was writing stories about humans, and so I really had to kind of knuckle down and start doing the drawing. And I think that is the thing, you know, if there's something you want to do, if there's something you want to draw, and you're not very good at drawing it, and you really want to get good at it, you just have to do the work. And since I started it, you know, since I've been on YouTube doing this for 10 years now, my kind of ambition was to get everybody drawing. And now I appreciate I'm not going to get everybody drawing. I might get people doodling a bit more, but to really get good at drawing, it's a huge investment in time and tears and all sorts of things. It's a very frustrating thing. I think you have to learn to fail a lot and to accept failure. I think that's probably goes with lots and lots of other things, but I think art is really good for that, because you do fail an awful lot in art, and you just got to accept it, suck it up, and move on to the next thing. But learning from the one before, so it's kind of a mindset thing going on there as well, I think. So Trails TM, if you want to draw humans and animals, you got to work at it. I think certainly go to the skeleton. I think if you start from the skeleton, you kind of work out how these things move. That helps. And maybe go and do some see if there's some live classes somewhere where you live, and go and do live classes, and, you know, and work with other people there, because they'll be doing it, and you'll have a teacher explaining things to you. You might find that helpful. Where are we? Bravo 478BL. What's your favorite character out of your books you've made so far? From Lola. I would have to say, you know, I would have to say the Ginger Ninja. Ta-da! It's probably back to front. And is that back to front? Can you read that? Because it's back to front to me, but then it might be fine for you. And the Ginger Ninja is, there's lots of illustration in it. There's this terrible character here called Tiddles, and he's the school bully, and it's my favorite. I mean, I wrote this quite a long time ago, but it's my favorite because it's kind of a lot about my childhood, and when I finished it, I realized that I thought I was Ginger, and I thought Tiddles was the bullies at school, and then I realized that in fact the two characters are two halves of me, and probably two halves of everybody else. There's the good and bad sides of us. The side that doesn't laugh. Yes, that's it. So I think that's why I like it, and I learned a lot about myself when I wrote that book, and a lot about life and all sorts of things just by thinking about it and putting things into perspective. What's your favourite character? There we are. Trails TM is laughing with tears. Thank you. Mimi Draws says, what's your advice on dealing with haters? Just ignore them, basically. Certainly on YouTube, that, you know, if I get sort of people coming along, it's not quite as bad as it used to be. When I first started, people would come along and say kind of quite hurtful things, and then it changed so that you had to have an account before you could make comments. So people sort of think twice about making really nasty comments, but sometimes you'll find the comments have been made early in the morning when people have had maybe something too much to drink or something. I've had a few of those. And it kind of depends what the hating is about. If it's something personal, then it does get to you. If it's a personal thing, like you know, why do you laugh so much, or your nose is too big, or something like that, whatever, then then I think those personal things, they do get to you, but you just have to kind of turn it around and think, who are these people? Who are they? What? And in the old days, it used to be quite good because you could actually click through and learn quite a lot about them. And so, in the old days, this is sort of 8 years ago or something like that, then I got some real stinkers, and I could go onto their channel and I could kind of see what they did and look at their videos, and I'm afraid they were quite sad people, and they tended to be a particular kind of people, and living on their own, obviously, and so what I did was I developed a kind of an image, an avatar of what a hater looked like, and I suppose it's a very negative stereotype I have. I imagine anybody making derogatory comments on my channel, I imagine that they live on their own in a trailer park in Nebraska, and they're sat there playing computer games on their own, and probably had a few too much to drink, and they're overweight and they're unfit, and they probably smoke and drink too much. And so I have an image of this person who I don't respect, and I imagine that's what the person who is writing stuff on my channel is like. And I just press that button, and it depends what they said. If they said something bad, then I report them, and then they never come back onto my channel again. Or if it's just then I'll hide this user's comments. So I just don't want to see their comments anymore, and then that's it. It's gone. And I said, that's it, gone, move on. But sometimes those things, they just do stick around with you for a day or two, but you just have to. I think that thing of having a vision of something, you know, the person that you really don't admire, not somebody that you hate, but somebody that you don't respect their point of view, I think. So if you create an avatar in your head, somebody whose view you don't respect, then you're not going to feel upset by what they say, because you don't know who they are, really, do you? So there you go. How are we doing? Right. Wasn't a decent dealing with haters. That's Mimi Draws. Obviously, make a video on hands. I have done, and anatomy. I have done. You have to go to my channel and go to the search thing and put hands in there, or just go to Google and put Shoo Rayner video hands. Trails TM. Thank you. Good. There we are. Trails TM. You're one of the people who call me Ray, which I haven't quite worked out. Why did you call me Ray? My name is Shoo, and Rayner is my surname, so I don't know. There's a few people call me Ray, and I haven't quite worked that out. So, right, who is? There we go. So yeah, I only like perspectives drawing for some reason. I just don't like drawing characters or living things. That's fine. That's not a problem. Is that I'm getting lots of. I'm getting lots of little things, so I'm not getting your names coming up for some reason. I only like perspective drawings for some reason. I just don't like drawing characters or living things. That's fine. I think everybody draws something different, and if that's what you like, that's what you like. That's what you draw. It's not a problem. Why worry about what others think of you? Most people are too busy thinking and worrying about what people think of them. Exactly. One of the things about worrying what other people think about you is they're not thinking about you. if you think about, as you go through the day, how much time do you spend thinking about other people, thinking, no, you know, about other people? You don't. And other people don't either. People are not spending their whole lives thinking about you and thinking bad thoughts about you. They're worrying about what they're going to have for supper. They're worrying about, you know, what time do the shops shut. They're worrying about whether the dogs just weed on the carpet. They're worrying about completely different other things. So there we are. Apathy is a good solution at times. It certainly is. April Cole, do tell us, thank you very, very much. Did you have a question for me, or have I answered it already? Where are we up above? Thank you kindly. There we are. Trusted he my bad. There we are. Just think you are an inspiration. Well, thank you very much. Oh, I see. Here we are. My name is just a dot. A tiny dot on the huge map of existence. I understand. Okay. People spend a lot of time thinking up what their avatar names are going to be on YouTube. And dot. How did you manage to get dot? Surely somebody must have had that before. I thought lots of people had tried it. I think you did well to get that. That's quite a difficult. I would have thought somebody had already sort of bagged dot. I just think hundreds of people every day thinking, I've had this brilliant idea. I'm going to call my name Dot. There we are. No. Terry Landa Pliego, hello from Mexico. Hola. How are you doing? Hey, where is everybody from? Is it because are you all around the world, or where are you? That's a really interesting thing. We've got 22 people watching at the moment. 22 people watching, and I run out of questions. April, have you got a question? Mimi Draws is from the USA. Seafood Guppy from Canada. There we are. Cool. UK, Manchester, Bournemouth, Southwest England. I'm going to Bournemouth next week. I'm so introverted. I chose a dot. India, California. This is so wild, isn't it? Everybody's all around the world. Yes, I am. Trails TM. I'm going to Bournemouth next week. I'm going visiting a school. That'll be interesting. Before you decide on creating a story or book, do you take a lot of time planning, or do you start drawing and see what happens? Good question. If you look back over the last few months of my videos or something, you'll find some there for Pandora, which is a book that I brought out last summer, I suppose it was, and I worked out that I've been working on that for about 20 years. And it changed and it changed and it changed. And the book that I want to be doing with Penny and Benny, this one I was showing you earlier, that is a story I first wrote about 10 years ago. And when I took it to publishers, they were appalled, actually, because it involves the internet. And 10 years ago, nobody understood the internet. Publishers certainly didn't. And they just didn't get it. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. And then suddenly I thought, I'm going to get Penny and Benny to do this story. So I was thinking of doing them roundabout now, but other projects have come along, and so it's sort of going on a little bit. So Penny and Benny, for instance, what I'm doing, I'm getting used to drawing the characters. I'm getting used to understanding the characters, but I created this website and Instagram account for them, so they're like real people, and I'm kind of building them up to be sort of real characters out there in the world, blogging. But they have no idea what is about to happen to them when I start writing this book. Everything is going to change, so it's going to be really interesting. But the book is all laid out and ready. I know exactly what's going to happen, but that's taken the recent version of it with Penny and Benny. I suppose I've been planning for a year now. I'm just redrawing and redrawing, and so I'm kind of I'm ready to start working on it quite soon. So you'll be hearing all about that. Don't you worry. Trails TM is sticking his tongue out. Cool. Fiona Burgess, we have back to your book. Where are we? Oh, fantastic. Thank you. It's off to a start. Thank you very much, Fiona. From Ashby de la Zouche. That's such a good name. That's up the M42, isn't it? I think there's the Ashby de la Zouche services on the M42. I heard I've gone there and had cups of coffee in my time. In fact, I think Ashby de la Zouche, I think, holds a special place in Britain. I'm not sure if Britain or England, but if you cut a map out and you put a pin through Ashby de la Zouche, it's the gravitational center of the country, apparently. So the whole country balances around that point. That's interesting, isn't it? Here we are. So, right, where was I? We are back. There we are, Fiona. Fantastic, thank you. Mimi draws 20 years. She said you don't have to spend 20 years. I have the fastest book I ever wrote was 7.5 minutes. It was a sequel, so I already had the characters, but it just came to me. I wrote it, bang, that was it. In fact, I sent it to the publishers and they phoned me back within about 10 minutes and it was all done. Fantastic. It doesn't happen like that every time. So some things come quickly, some things take a long time. But I do think a bit of planning helps, and reworking, which is editing. Not the more you edit, the better it gets, because sometimes you can edit a thing to complete. You can get so bored of editing, the whole thing just dies. But editing should really just tighten the whole thing up, and editing with editing on the illustrations and revising and redrawing and redrafting will make the book much better. We'll make it better all the time, even if it reaches to the point where you go right back to the beginning, because then you know that was right all along. Does that make sense? April Cole, love your videos and your art. Watching you from Surprise, Arizona. That sounds great. Surprise, Arizona. I can imagine the sort of 7:30 in the morning. All the alarm clocks go off and everyone leaps out of bed. Surprise! See, a book starts from that, doesn't it? Where we were saying, where do ideas for books come from? And it's just a silly idea like that. So it was 7:30 in the morning in April, Surprise, Arizona, and the alarms went off. Surprise! So, and then what happens? What happens? Each one of you could write a story about that, and it would be entirely different, but from that sort of beginning. So there we go. Surprise, Arizona, fantastic. I love that. I might even try to get it into a story one day. Right. First thing, P.S. I'm 11. You shouldn't tell people your name, even if you then up it to 12. You shouldn't tell people your age online. Don't do that. Okay, fair. As far as we're concerned, you're just a person, so don't tell people your age online. Monica and Mika, I think a lot of your fans are probably younger, but I'm 20 now, and I really appreciate your videos. Art can be so stressful when you're seriously trying to improve, but you're so relaxed about it. There are times I'm not. You only see me when the camera is on and it's focused. There we are. And there are times when it is frustrating. And I think over the years I've kind of learned walking is really good. I think if you're creative and you're stuck there trying to create something all day, and it's driving you mad and it's not working, stop, go and do something else. And something about walking, it's kind of the rhythm and being a creative. If you're a creative person, you're probably living a lot in your head, and going for a walk, you get this kind of rhythm going, and I don't know, ideas just come. You've probably seen my videos where I go for walks, and so that's how it works. It's keeping up with these things. Watching you from Surprise, Arizona. Right, retract. Good, well done. Don't ever give you an age and how to get piercing. So, Trails, what school am I coming to teach? Highview. is it? Let me have a look. Hillview. There we are. Hillview. I'm coming to Hillview Primary. There we are. Seafood Guppy. How hard is it to get first published? Oh, see, nowadays it's different from when I started, I think. Not so many people kind of thought of being published. I think, you know, it's much more of a dream and an ambition of people to want to be published now. And when I started, I set out purely as an illustrator. So I kept my folder and I phoned up publishers and arranged to go and see them. And you can kind of look through a folder very quickly and people can decide if they can use you or not very quickly. And they can see if you're a kind of person they can deal with as well. It's very different if you want to write. I think you can't really say, here, have a quick look at this book. So I kind of got in as an illustrator, and then once I was illustrating, then my editors sort of got to know me, and they said, you know, you tell stories, you should have a go at writing, and they just encouraged me to have a go at writing, and it kind of grew from there. But I can't think that it would work that way anymore quite so easily. And so the big publishers, they don't really want you messing up their offices anymore. So you really need an agent now to be able to get going, and it's just more complicated. But at the same time, it's become a lot more simpler because you can publish yourself. Although it's still the marketing that's difficult. And I'm doing a whole lot of thing on Patreon/Shoo Rayner. So I'm now going to be starting to teach sort of all my publishing skills on Patreon as well, if you're kind of interested in that kind of thing. So yeah, so it's much easier to publish yourself, but then it's the marketing is the hard thing, and that's kind of what I want on Patreon. I kind of want to build up a kind of a crew that will kind of help each other marketing as well, and sort of coming up with ideas. So, I mean, for instance, you know, what I'm doing now is marketing, but yeah. Does that answer your question? I don't know. Anyway, right. Where am I? Oh, it's going through. I think a lot of friends. How hard to get first published? Art is supposed to be relaxing and fun, suppose. Just enjoy the ride, I guess. Yeah, and I think there's a big pressure. On this is for Dot. There's a big pressure on art now that everybody wants to be famous, and not that everybody wants to be famous. Everybody kind of feels you've sort of got to be famous, and you've got to be brilliant, and you've got to you know, there's no point doing it unless you're well famous for doing it. But there is, you know, you are allowed to do art for fun. You don't have to do it as a job. You don't have to do it for anybody else to see. You can just do it in your sketchbook and nobody needs to know about it. You can do it for fun and relaxation. That is allowed. And then there's no pressure. If you want to do what I do, you know, I got a pressure all day. I've been thinking, oh, 4 o'clock, I got to come and talk about this, and I'm thinking I got to set this up, and I got to be doing that, and I got to tweet here, and I got to do that, and I haven't been able to do a drawing all day. But it's all about being a professional artist. You know, the more you go professional about it, the less your artwork you do. So it's crazy. So, and more pressure that you put on yourself. So if you just want to draw for fun, that is okay. You're allowed to do it. Okay. Where are we now? Hi, Dammer Jules. Hi from Texas, USA. Hi, fantastic. Is your profile photo a young version of you? I suppose. Why do you think I look older? It's actually, that's probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I think that profile photo. April Cole, I love it. Surprise. Karen knows. Hi, Shoo. Karen here from Chatsworth, Georgia. I was a part of your last Kickstarter. Look forward to this one as well. Fantastic. Thank you, Karen. And in Chatsworth, Georgia, my daughter works at Chatsworth, UK, which is a great big country house. So there we go. Trails TM. Oh, cool. What did I say? What did I say? Oh, yeah, Hillview. That's right. Hillview. Yeah. Dot says, the other day I was thinking, what are the elements of existence, be it a real or imagined existence? I came up with the Dot, you are a deep thinker. 1, subjects, living creatures. 2, objects, not living. 3, topics and thoughts, emotions, and 5, events, interactions with all. Some of them, I thought if reality and stories are made from these elements, it would be a basic starting point to create a story or any form of art, being a movie show. That sort of makes sense. I would have to read that slowly and think about that for a little while. So, Mimi Draws, how did you find your art style? That is the tricky one, isn't it? That's kind of the big one. And well, I went to art school. I did all sorts of stuff before art school. I worked in printing, did all sorts of things, and then I went to art school, and I didn't find it there, but I tried all sorts of things, and then I came out of art school, and I tried to be a pop star, a rock star. Go and have a look at YouTube/Flamazing, FLAMAZING, and I did that for a while, and then the band split up, and it was just terrible. And I went home. You know, they go on about millennials coming home. I did that. I came home a complete mess, and I sat down for 6 months every day, and I drew and I drew and I drew, and I thought, I don't want to do that. That's not right. That's not right. And I kept throwing stuff out. And in the end, I ended up with about 10 pieces of work, and I said, that's me. And I could say that if somebody asked me to draw something, it would look like that. So I put that into a folder, and I went to publishers, and they treated me very differently because I found my style, basically. And so what it is that they know from this sort of set of drawings that if they ask you to do, got the police or something going on outside. Oh, it's all happening. So publishers know that if they commission you to do a piece of work, it's going to look something like that. So they've got a rough idea of what it is you're going to draw. So they don't want to say, oh, I really love your work, go and draw this, and you go and do something completely different. And so I think that's kind of how I did it, by throwing out the things that I thought weren't right. And then it's just a question of keep drawing. And I think I really did find it. And then I kind of went off and I lost it for a while. And then I got involved in computer graphics and stuff like that, and, you know, computer illustration. And I learned a lot of stuff by doing computer illustration. And then I got so bored with it. But when I came back, my style had changed on paper. And so it's been really, really difficult kind of bringing myself back to this loose kind of style that Virsing was talking about earlier, this looser kind of style. But I'm still now informed by all this kind of digital stuff that I've learned, and it's all about layers and things like that. So I think I'm kind of back now, and I've sort of really got my style back again. And kind of ready to go, yeah. And I think this channel is going to be much more. This channel's going to be different. I think I'm keeping draw stuff real easy on with kind of the stuff that I used to do, but this channel's going to be much more kind of illustration and stuff like that from now. Oh, we got lots here. No, there was please make app about drawing which include character description. Oh, apps are such hard work. I made an app once and I never want to make one again. Seafood Guppy, I think, thank you. I'm freelance graphic designer. I graduated from Mohawk College, Canada. mainly focusing on illustration logo designs. I found your channel in my first year of college. You helped a lot. Thank you. Good. I'm glad I did. There are times, there are times I kind of sit here and I make videos and I pontificate about stuff and I think, what am I going on about? And then people say, oh, that really helped. So that makes me feel good. Good. Thank you. Smart Demon. Hey, Shoo, long time follower. Smart Demon has been following me from the very, very, very beginning. I think Smart Demon was about 4 when he started. No, I think Smart Demon was about 13 or something. I think when he first started following me, it was a long time ago. Advice for young artists on how to make it in 2019. Oh, goodness me. I really don't know. It's such a different world now from, oh, hang on, what happened there? It's such a different world from when I started out. In fact, because of the internet, and everything is available, everything is free. So like what I'm doing now is free. It's for you, but it's not. In fact, you are paying for it through your eyeballs because there's advertising all around it. So that's how you pay for this. It's weird. So I think an artist setting out now, I think, has to be really true to themselves, has to really know who they are, what they're about, and really stick to what they believe in. And eventually people will understand what they're about if they don't understand what they're about now. If you want to make a living, you have to be commercial, and you have to think about the customer, and it's not about you as an artist, it's about what the customer wants. If you want to be an artist and create and say something about the world, then you have to convince the world. Otherwise, if you want to make a living as an artist, as a commercial artist, as we used to call them in the old days, then you have to produce work for the customer, and it's not about you, it's about them. And then there's something in the middle. There are all sorts of things like YouTube, where you can get a bit of income here, and you can get a bit of income there, and a bit of income here. And I think you have to kind of make a living as an artist. I think you probably have to be prepared to do lots and lots of little things here and there, and be an artist. You're an entrepreneur. It's basically what it is. So go and learn some business skills as well. I think that really helps. Artists quite often go, oh, business, no, I don't want to know about that. And if you want to make a living as an artist, there aren't many jobs. You're going to have to create it for yourself. You're going to have to be an entrepreneur. And so learning a bit of business skills, even if you don't tell anybody you're doing it, really wouldn't hurt and will actually help an awful lot. Eddie, Eddie one. Good to see you back, Shoo. Thank you. Good to see you too. Hang on. What have we missed out here? I missed something, haven't we? No, I missed something. It's starting. Meredith Eldon Ross. Hi, here from Colorado, USA. I'm in with doing this Kickstarter illustrator myself. You inspire me. Fantastic. Thank you. And so have you done a Kickstarter, or you're going to do one? It's it's not for the faint-hearted. There's a lot to think about. Jessica, hey, what's your favorite book of all time? My book, I told you, was a Ginger Ninja. My favorite book otherwise is Where the Wild Things Are. And if you want to know, go and look on my channel and type in Where the Wild Things Are. And I did a video about why that is my favorite book. And if you want to know about design for a book, that is the most perfectly designed book. And I explain why. So here we are. Diddy Sue 3. So glad I caught this. They're saying message retracted. Awkward Jen. Wow, glad I'm here. Why are you awkward, Jen? What have you done? And Dot has done a little picture of what to me looks like an old video cassette. It could be an owl. Anyway, Fear saying, what is your plan B? Sorry, what is my plan A? Dot says, is it true that some of these abstract paintings sold for millions in art galleries is a money laundering method? I could quite believe it is. Absolutely. I'm sure that the fine art business with galleries and things, I'm sure there's a lot of money laundering goes on there. It's an enormous scam, actually. So, okay, you're a rock star. In fact, I wrote a book called a series called Axel Storm. His mum and dad are rock stars, and in one of the stories, they made so much money. They buy all this stuff and they buy all this art. What do you do with the art? You stick it on your walls, but then somebody's going to come and steal them. So you need to make it really secure. So you put it in a museum. So you build a museum, and you put your name on the front. It's the Shoo Rayner Memorial Museum or something, and you put all your art inside, and there it is. People pay to come and see it. That's crazy, isn't it? So people pay to come and see it, and because they pay to come and see it, it must be special. So the value of the art goes up. Once you put a ring around a painting and you charge people to come in and you put security cameras all around, the value of the painting goes up. It's a kind of a huge, great scam, really. They're saying, what is my plan B? I don't have a plan B. I just keep going on plan A. And my life is plan A. Stock 02. Hi, Shoo. Can you show us again that cute drawing of the cat in a dress? Liked it a lot. Yes, go to Instagram. Look up Penny and Benny. Here we are. So this is Penny. And kind of what I do is Penny and Benny, they follow various people on Instagram. And so Penny follows all these fashion bloggers. And I save some every now and then. And these old 1950s fashion photos which people are putting up on Instagram, they then inspire me to put Penny in those outfits, and then I draw them. So I draw them when I'm doing watching the telly in the evening. I watch the TV and I do my Penny and Benny drawings when I'm doing that. There we are. Blah, 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 blah. Can you show? So yeah, start. Just realized I can rewind. Anyway, I've just shown it to you. You can rewind. That's amazing. Fiona Burgess, do I have a pet dog? Now, I knew I was going to be asked this question. No, I don't. No, I don't have a pet dog, which is a bit strange, isn't it? I really should have if I was doing this project. And I love dogs. I love other people's dogs. And I tried living with a dog, and I just can't do it. I think it's that. I think it's because I sit in my shed all day and I'm focused, and I do go out for a walk, but I want to go out for a walk when I want to. I don't want to have to go out and walk the dog. Does that make sense? And when I go out, I meet lots of other people who are walking dogs, and some look surprised that I haven't got a dog and that I'm walking on my own. And since I've been writing Walker, this book about the boy who can talk to dogs, I've kind of really been thinking a lot about dogs and their psychology, and so Walker, he's a dog whisperer. He can talk to dogs, and I'm almost convincing myself that I'm one myself now. So when I used to meet dogs and I was going out for a walk, and it was kind of, I used to be slightly wary of them, and now I just kind of say hello to them and talk to them. They come up and say hello and sniff and go off, and the owners quite often look a bit surprised because their dogs are there to protect them, and they're not protecting them. They're coming saying hello to me. So no, I don't have a pet dog. I actually have two cats who are mother and son rather. Yeah. Dot throws yellow paint on white canvas, sells for $20 million. Congratulations. Do you want to be in YouTube Rewind? That's the thing they do at the end of the year, isn't it? I think it's probably not likely, and I'm not that bothered really. Nancy Media, hi. Dot says cats are better, no need to walk them. Yeah, so I think that's it's a dependent thing. Dogs are very different. I think I've mentioned on YouTube before about I nearly ran away with the circus when I was younger. And the circus people, they all had cats, which I was very surprised by. And they would draw all their caravans up in exactly the same way when they got to a new place. And so the cats knew that's their caravan, and they had their little territory around the caravan. And I said to the circus master who ran the thing, I said, you know, why have you got cats and not dogs? You know, and I really thought they would be dog people. And he said, oh no, we're all individuals, and dog people are kind of team people. This, you know, I mean, this is not everybody's like, you know, people are cat and dog people, obviously, but dog people tend to be team people, and they want everybody around them, and, you know, doing stuff together and playing team games, whereas cat people tend to be kind of quiet, sitting in little sheds on their own at the bottom of the garden, and tend to be people who kind of work on their own and happy in their own company. So that's kind of how it works. So we've gone over an hour now, so I'm going to give 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to say good night. So where are we now? Cats better. Stu Cambridge. Hey Stu, how are you doing? Just popped in to wish you all the best with the Kickstarter. Thank you very much. And best, were you inspired by the ITV most favorite dogs at the weekend? I didn't see it. No. I should go and have a look at that. Nancy Media. No, I've been planning this for a little while now. So, Nancy Media. I read one of your Monster Boy books at school. Excellent, excellent. Piercing. Don't on them haters. Liam McGowan. Hi, I'm from Leicester. How are you? Extroverts tend to like dogs more. Introverts tend to like cats more. Tend, yeah. Good. And I think you can't say they do and they don't. Tend is a good word, yeah. Smart Demon, I just checked out Flamsy. Great songs. Miss Faber, hi, I love your channel. I listen to you when I draw. Excellent, thank you. And Labour Malik, what about ambiverts? Was that like people like who are extroverts and introverts? I suppose that I'm a bit, I presume that's what you mean. I suppose I'm a bit like that. I'm kind of extrovert now. And when I go to schools and stuff, I perform as extrovert. But then when I come into my little studio and I switch this camera off, I'm quietly just working on my own. Nancy Media, I have 2 characters. You should draw them. Oh, you should draw them. Sorry. You should draw them. That's the thing. They're your characters. You should draw them. And I think it's... People so often ask me on YouTube, can you show me how to draw, you know, Disney characters and stuff? They're not my characters. They don't interest me. And there are hundreds of people who show you how to do that anyway. Liam Gowan, I love your. I mean, I like Disney characters when I watch their things. I'm not interested in drawing their characters. Liam McGowan, I love your drawing shoot. I pay for the Brighton Seawhite Journal. And I do drawings in them. Such a huge fan. Thank you. Excellent. I'm going in 1 minute. I struggle with color coding my avatars. Okay. Trails T. There we go. Good. I presume that's bump fists. Shoot. I mean, is it even coloring? Tilly, hey Shoo, would you suggest going freelance when first starting off commercially or looking for an agency? I think if you've got an agent, do you mean working with an agent or yeah, that's tricky. I think it's really up to you. I think if you're going freelance and on your own, it's lonely and it's hard. It's business, and you know, there's a lot to learn. So, you know, but if you have an agent, they're kind of going to do the work for you, but they've got other people on their books that they're not totally focused on you. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. And they're going to charge you for it. So I really don't know. I couldn't say. It really does depend on how you feel. If you feel, I want to do this on my own, then that's great. If you go, I'm not quite sure, then then maybe an agent is what you need. So, last question. Piercing, how do you choose colours for your characters? That's tricky, isn't it? Because Penny here, she's been pink for a while. And then she went and had a ginger rinse. That didn't look right. And she's just gone peaches and cream. And I rather like her in peaches and cream. So I think that's maybe where it's going to go. Last question. Thanks so much for your video. Good luck with Kickstarter. I hope it gets funded. And then we can look forward to a drawing of our dog, Boris. Excellent. By the way, you're close to 200,000 subscribers. I know. Nancy Media, thank you. Leo Gow, what is the best advice to give to people for drawing faces? Draw a circle, 2 dots, and a nose and a mouth. I'm going put into my channel. Well, search on my channel, Shoo Rayner faces, and you'll find there's a whole lot on there. Super Betty Hoshi, sorry for the question. It's obvious long day at work. Where's the Kickstarter link to get involved? It's right up at the top. If I go, I wonder if I still got it in there. I know that. Yes. So we don't want the Zs. So if we go there, here we go. Does that come up? There we are. Yeah. You keep asking questions. What's the best? There we are. Super Petty 123. There's the link. Miss Flowerbow smiling. Brother, good luck to you and keep laughing. And Super Petty says, great, thanks. And I am going to say good night. Oh, will her body is the kind of page so blue is a really suitable colour for her dress since it's contrasting to the colour. Yes. Dot, you're a very deep thinker. Bye everybody. Thanks for all your questions. Go and have a look at my Kickstarter to see what it's all about. And you don't have to do it, but tell everybody about it. Please do. Go and tell everybody about it. If you know people with dogs, tell them about my Kickstarter because they should have their dog in my book. Bye everybody. Bye. Oh, I should be saying, and in the meantime, keep drawing. Practice. You take care now. Bye.